Hello, brothers and sisters in Christ. We want to thank you for coming to our channel.
God's Gabby Girls. This is a channel where we love and are dedicated to gab about God. Before we get started, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, click that notification button, and share with family and friends so that we can get God's word out.
Now, let's gab.
Hi, family.
Hello.
God's Gabby Girls here with a different but informative video for you. This is something that we will all be able to use down the line. Whether it be if we go to war or, we get hit with an EMP, anything like that, that darkness is involved. Elaine's going to explain to us what this is.
Yes. Okay, guys. What I'm going to show you guys here is what I make for emergency candles. Sarah gave us some things that we could, possibly face. We also can be talking about power outage, bad storm come in and take out your power, and tornadoes, earthquakes. I mean, just anything and everything that where we may have light not available to us, or even heat. And I'll explain that too with that here in a minute. So this is called a Crisco emergency candle. I know it's complicated, right? But you can't guess the main ingredient. What we do here with this is you're gonna get whatever size jar you want. You can get the small ball jars, medium, or this is a wide mouth, so it goes straight up, but you can, any of them will work. You also do not have to have necessarily a ball jar. You can have an old candle that you have used and you have the nice jar still, be resourceful. You can actually put it in cans for emergency. Like, say you had corn for tonight for dinner, and you wash it out and take the label off. You can use that also. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's very friendly to whatever you have in your home. So anyhow, again, I have a ball jar here, and all you're going to have to do is, of course, remove the lid. And we have our Crisco. This obviously is not Crisco brand. I use the generic. It's much cheaper. All of it works the same. So what you're going to do is, based on what size of ball jar you have, we're going to scoop out the Crisco. And I just use, a little plastic scooper, scrape out and put into your glass jar, or measuring cup or whatever glass container. And we're going to heat this up in the microwave. I always start with a bigger candle like this, start it for a minute. Do it for a minute, check on it, maybe give it a little stir, whatever that is. Sorry. And just keep then doing it in increments of 30 seconds afterwards until it's completely liquefied. If you do not have something that is large enough or a thick enough glass to put in your microwave, you can always just use that ball jar. And you just scoop it, and you want to keep filling it and pushing it down to get those air bubbles out so that you have a nice fill. So once we have the Crisco melted, of course, we're going to pour that into our candle, or our jar, excuse me, pour it in, and you're going to see this bottom ring on a ball jar. You do not want your wax to go above that. You've got to give a little leeway here, okay? So go right underneath it. So if you've melted too much and you're pouring it in, save that part for another candle. Maybe do a smaller one. Don't waste your Crisco. So you're going to pour that in, and then you're just going to stick the whole jar right into your refrigerator. You can do a refrigerator. You can put it even in the freezer if you're kind of in the need of getting it done quick. So once we have that done, what we're going to have is we're going to take it out of our refrigerator, and it's going to, of course, be solid, just like it was here in the original container. And you'll see what underneath that bottom line that I was telling you about. So we have that, and all you need now is a candle. You can use tapers. That's what I use. And I go to the dollar store and these two come in one package. This one obviously I've cut, but you know, two full ones come in a package. Obviously very cheap, so affordable. And what you want to do is you want to take your taper and do your point side down and hold it right up to your jar. Now you want to cut and mark that taper here right above that line that we said we're not going to go above with our Crisco. So just cut it there and save the bottom part for another, you know, another candle that you want to make that's maybe in a smaller jar. So we have that. Now we have it cut. I do want to let you guys know too that the bigger the candle that you're making, the quantity makes a big difference on what size wick you need to have. If you the bigger you go, you want to have a bigger what I mean bigger is thicker, more heavy duty, and it will then burn clean and you won't drown out that taper that you're putting in there. So even if you put one in, you make one and you put one in, and it's starting to kind of drown that out, all you have to do is once it cools, just grab that taper, pull it out, and put maybe a taper that has a thicker wick on it. Yeah. So anyhow, so what we have here is we're just going to go right in the center, and literally we're just going to push it down in. Okay. And then you're going to have some of the Crisco come up. I would just, what I do is then I'll just put this back in my Crisco just so we can even this somewhere out. Okay. There you go, guys. Come on. Does it get easier than that?
Nope.
No, it does not. And this particular one, I'm just trying to think. Let me see. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this size here will burn for 38 days. 38 days, guys. Wow. 38 days. It costs next to nothing. You don't even have to go out and buy the new ball, you know, a new ball jar. We've all probably at some point have it somewhere in our house, or people that we know that are like have 20,000 ball jars.
Like me.
Yeah, true. So it's very, very inexpensive. They're great gifts. I mean, who doesn't want to, you know, have something that lights up and is pretty just if they want it for the ambiance or is there in an emergency situation. I did forget to mention, excuse me, that after you melt your Crisco and before you're putting it in the fridge to let it sit and harden up, you can always add scent that you like. You may like floral scent. You may, you know, I like all the baking scents, the things that make me hungry once I have it going. Pick whatever scent you like, and you can put some of that in there. It's not technical. You just pour enough in it, you know, until you're happy with what it's smelling like. And I do like this because we've all been around Crisco before. It smells like what? Oil. It has that oily, you know, smell. So this just helps put some wonderful smells in the air. And once you're done with that, you can go ahead, and if you just want to be like me where I decorate everything under the sun that comes across my path.
No.
You can do some cute little decoration here. You know, I just put some little tweed around it in the colors that I wanted and glued a little button on there.
And it smells awesome.
Wonderful, right? Yes. So, guys, get out there, make these emergency candles, not only for something fun to do, but for something that is going to help prepare you in a case of an emergency. And one last thing I think I'll share with this is they also can work as heaters. Let's say your power goes out and it's chilly. I mean, right now one day we're 80 and another day we're 30. So if we were to lose power, we may be cold, you know. You can take, again, any size of these, and if you set it up, and I didn't come prepared for it, but I'm going to use this as a kind of an example. If you find a base, something to put underneath your candle, And unlike this being solid, something that has a little bit of air so air can get up into it, you would just set your candle, Crisco candle, on top of whatever it is. I've seen people use utensil holders for the kitchen, things like that. Anyhow, put that in there and then get yourself a clay pot that will fit over the top of this. And you put the clay pot on it, and then you take a quarter and you put the quarter over the top of the hole that's in the clay pot. That will then, this candle then will heat that clay pot, and therefore it will radiate heat off of it. And you get a lot more heat than you would expect for
That's
something.
something I didn't know.
Yeah, something that's as simple, in dire times. Definitely you appreciate any kind of heat you can get in the cold. So there you go, guys. We hope that this was helpful to you. You can help, you know, stock up your family with them. Get your kids, involved. Yes. This is something they can do, and then talk to them through it. That emergencies can happen, but we can be prepared. So anyhow, we thank you for watching, and we will see you on our next video. And until then, I want you to remember that Jesus thinks you're to die for. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the comments box below. And if you're in need of a Bible, we can send one to you free of charge.
Just email us at godsgabbygirls@hotmail.com with your name and the address you would like it to be sent to. We also have children's Bibles, so just let us know which ones are needed. Prayer requests can also be sent to our email. Until next time, don't forget,
be Gabby for God.